There's the new baby llama. This is him.
Oh my gosh! Hi! Oh, good girl! Good boy! I'm gonna cry. Good girl, Mama. Oh. Hi. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hi, baby. Oh. Hi, baby. Oh. Oh my gosh. Good daddy. Go on.
I was pretty sure Pearl, his mama behind me, was pregnant, but it's really hard to tell with llamas, so I wasn't 100% sure. And llamas have a year-long gestation period. Well, 11 and a half months, close enough, practically a year. They grow bigger very gradually, and they don't get that huge. So they have single babies when they have them. It's very rare for them to have twins. And the main signs I looked for to tell she was pregnant, basically the one main sign was that she started rejecting Carl the Great's attention and spitting in his face when he tried to put the moose on her. Llamas do spit, but these two really don't spit at humans. They have spit at me before, but only when they got super mad. The only time other than that they really spit is Pearl spitting at poor Carl. But you know, Carl, lay off, a girl's pregnant, right, for a year. But because their pregnancy is so long and I just let them conceive naturally, I had no clue when this bouncing baby was gonna come along. And I was forecasting sometime maybe next year, probably like winter 2020, spring 2020. And I Thanksgiving night came back to put the animals to bed after going to my family's Thanksgiving. And I couldn't find the llamas, and they roam around, but they're territorial, so they don't roam that far. they generally stay in the woods, kind of somewhere along the perimeter of the farmyard, just looking for snacks and stuff. But when they hear me giving dinner out to all the animals, they generally come charging up from wherever they were, because they are treat monsters and they want to get in on the goods. So Thanksgiving night, they didn't come running up, and I thought that it was very weird, but it was also kind of drizzly, so I thought, well, maybe they're somewhere warm. And anyway, they didn't, so odd, so I was a bit worried, but not really. And so the next morning I started looking for them and couldn't find them. And I hiked around, and finally I just hopped on the four-wheeler and started driving around, and I'm calling, and I drove back to the back pasture here that I don't use because it's not fenced yet and it's full of just brush and not really good edible stuff. But they go back there occasionally just to check it out and munch on some stuff. They weren't in sight, but I went back there and was calling, and all of a sudden, here comes Carl, and then there comes Pearl, and I saw this little moving thing, and I was like, is that a third llama? So I thought, no, there's no way. She wasn't acting different. She didn't look any that much bigger. Definitely not like end of pregnancy big in my mind, but those of you who have been following my Instagram know that I am not the best predictor of when the animals are going to have babies yet. I either sleep in the barn for weeks or they do it as a total surprise. So I just started recording and thought, in case this is a baby, I wanted to capture the first moments that I saw this little baby. So I did. Right, Carl?
Yeah, you're a good boy. Male llama babies, you have to be a little bit careful about babying them too much, though. There is a problem that they can develop called berserk male syndrome or berserk llama syndrome, where if they actually imprint on you and they've had too much human contact growing up, they literally develop this syndrome where they're berserk and they start attacking humans as adults. And it can happen to females too, but it's more common in males. It's most common with male babies that have to be bottle raised by humans instead of raised by their mother. So he's being raised by his mom. He knows she's his mom and I'm not. And so I'm still cuddling him. He's not imprinting on me. He's already imprinted on Mama Pearl. The other thing that's going to guard against it is that he, unlike Carl, he is getting fixed. I was gonna fix Carl when I got him too, because I was nervous about berserk llama syndrome, but then I decided I wanted baby llamas. But this little guy doesn't need to stay intact, and he shouldn't be intact and be around his mama anyway. Plus 2 intact male llamas, once they're adults, it's not good to keep them together either because they're territorial and they might start fighting at that point. So he is going to get fixed. And if you fix a male llama baby before puberty, llama puberty, whatever that's called in llamas, then it should prevent berserk llama syndrome. So I'm protecting against it and still cuddling this little adorable bundle of legs and neck. So he gets to stay in the llama nursery until I feel comfortable letting him out. The area around the llama nursery is a smaller fenced area separate from the other animals. That's why I put them over here instead of in the barn. And he'll have to stay in here at night for quite a while until he gets quite a bit bigger, just because it's winter, it's cold, and then also there's heavy coyote pressure here and bobcat pressure. And although the llamas are livestock guardian animals, and that is originally why I added them to the farm, well, that's why I added Carl, and then I added Pearl to be Carl's girlfriend, because as soon as I brought Carl home, I knew he needed another llama. So they're supposed to be livestock guardian animals, and they do a good job with it, but because they're territorial, so they just want to chase things off of their territory. And also they do get attached to other species. Carl is the sweetest. He loves, he makes friends with all the animals here, especially if they have special needs. But so they should be chasing coyotes and bobcats off, and pummeling them with their front feet if the, predators dare to stick around and not run. But I've spoiled them a little bit and snuggled them a little bit, maybe too much. So Carl has actually run to me once, at least one time, when a coyote came out of the woods, and I had to chase the coyote off. So with a baby involved, they would definitely protect the baby and try and chase the coyote off. It would be a different scenario, I think. But just out of safety and because it's cold, the adult llamas, they like the cold, but they still like to be somewhere cozy at night sometimes. So for the time being, they're going to hang out in here. Especially Pearl. Carl may get to sit outside if he wants to at night. He'll definitely get to start going out at night, staying out at night sooner than these two. Daddy llamas don't participate as much as the mama. Obviously, the mama is both protective and is nursing. She'll nurse him for 6 months. Sometimes daddy llamas, male llamas, will actually be mean to babies, rough with them, to the point of some male llamas will kill their young, or anyone's young llamas. Carl is a total sweetheart, so I have been watching their interactions, and he has been completely wonderful and very patient with the baby. So I don't have any fear of that, but I'm going to continue to keep a close watch. And although I don't have fear of Carl being too rough with the baby right now, he is definitely cooler with roaming around and not being right at the baby's side. Pearl is not as cool with that. She wants the baby at her side at all times. So when I took him on Saturday, over to my parents' place to meet them and my brother who was in town, I just rushed him over there, and I gave Pearl a lot of snacks. And she was actually fine with it. I was like, be right back. And I rushed him over there to meet them and rushed him back because he should be nursing every couple of hours or so right now. And he seems to be doing that. Right? Hi. he was a little nervous around me at first, but when he first came out of the woods with Mama and Daddy, but he has quickly warmed up and so sweet and soft and cute. Llamas love neck rubs. So, this is my first YouTube video ever. Getting the channel rubbed up. There's going to be all sorts of crazy, wild, adorable stuff going on. So please click the like button, click the subscribe, and tune in for when my next video comes out. Click the link to get a notification about that, because you don't want to miss any of this, do you?